When news breaks, hear it first on Southern Connecticut's news and information leader. Back to Melissa in the Morning on WICC 600 AM and 107.3 FM.
Jonathan.Carbutti is back in studio. Jonathan of Carbutti Real Estate. Hey, Jonathan, how are you?
Hey, Melissa. Good morning.
I'm so glad you're here. You and I were just kind of chuckling before we got on the air because you were saying sometimes it's harder to get a credit card approval than it is to get a mortgage. And I was glad that we're talking about buying a home because that could be a really challenging process, especially for first-time home buyers. So talk to us a little bit, just first of all, if we have listeners who this would be a very brand new rodeo. Maybe they've been renting, they went from condo living or whatever the case may be, and they're buying their first home this year. What can you tell them what does that look like, Jonathan?
It looks like so many things, Melissa. I think buying a home in general, especially for a first-time home buyer, is a daunting task. I think anything that you've never done before, there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of emotion attached to that. And that's where I think we always talk about sellers, and often we refer to, like, if you're thinking about selling your home, and we always love to talk about the selling process. But I don't think we talk about the buying process enough, Melissa, and we're an experienced real estate agent that's representing you as a buyer and holding your hand through the process is so instrumental to that process.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so Jonathan, let's just say I am newly married. You know what? We are looking to finally buy a home. So I just dialed you up. Hello, Jonathan.Carbutti. I am so-and-so, and I would like you to tell me exactly what I am in for. So what would you say?
And I would say, Melissa, you came to the right place at the right time. And I would ask you a few questions about your living situation right now, whether you're renting, whether you're living with your parents, what your timeline is. And we'd probably get you pre-approved first. So many of those buyers are so excited to get out there in the marketplace, start looking at homes and even going to open houses, which is great. But, usually you're putting you're putting the cart before the horse, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's because the last thing I want any buyer to do is walk into some property, fall in love with it, and not be able to afford it.
So what do you mean by pre-approval? And again, we're talking to Jonathan.Carbutti. Again, if I'm a brand new buyer, this is all brand new to me. When you say we want to get you pre-approved, what exactly does that mean? It's
a very easy process. Basically, you're going to speak with one of our lender partners, and they're going to ask you some questions regarding your finances, and they'll run a quick credit check on you, which won't really hurt your credit score at all. And they'll ultimately give you a pre-approval for some of their mortgage products that they're offering. And there's so many different mortgage products out there. There's a lot of first-time home buyer loans that are 3.5% down. You hear these terms, FHA, being thrown around. You hear CHFA, Connecticut Housing Finance Authority loans for first-time home buyers, and 100% financing, and VA loans if you're a veteran. Literally, the VA loan is one of the best products out there. If you are a veteran with this country, it's 100% financing, and you could build 100% of your closing costs in there. But, again, I don't want to overwhelm the buyers right now with all of these terms. Quite frankly, Melissa, if you called me today or tomorrow, I would set up an in-office buyer consultation and buyer strategy session with you. Sit in our office, close the conference door, offer you a cup of coffee, tea, sit down, get to know each other, get to know what your timeline is and what you want to accomplish, and we'll help you achieve those buying goals.
So, Jonathan, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, which is that it could be very overwhelming. How much time would you say a new buyer, a potential buyer, how much time should they give? Like, what should their timeline look like? It's January today, but, do you think you could turn something around in the next month, in the next couple of months, by the spring? Like, what should their timeline ideally look like?
Obviously, everybody's different based on what their situation is. We have many buyers or first-time home buyers that are coming off of leases, and those leases are up in April or May. If your lease is up in April or May, you should be talking to us now. We should be starting to look and getting you pre-approved and starting the buying process. Because remember, even if we find you that perfect home tomorrow, you're still looking at a 45, 60-day, or even a 90-day close, depending on whether that seller has to find a place to live, right?
Right, because
there's so many things that go into it. Absolutely.
Right.
Remember, we always talk about real estate agents representing sellers, and if you're selling your home, but remember, in the state of Connecticut, we have something called buyer brokerage, buyer representation, where a professional real estate agent and brokerage like ourselves represents your interests. It's no different than going into a court of law and the other party having an attorney and you not having an attorney. They're going to run circles around you. Mm-hmm. We know the process. And our job at the end of the day is to protect you and make sure that you get everything that you want. And make no mistake about it, there's no such thing as a perfect real estate transaction. It doesn't exist. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong, but that's where our experience comes in, because we'll be able to see a lot of those red flags or anticipate a lot of those red flags before they even happen.
Yeah, and certainly remediate the situation.
Yeah.
I mean, if it were me, and we don't plan on selling anytime soon just because we just literally moved here only a few years ago, but if I were to sell tomorrow, it would be with Jonathan.Carbutti. That is a promise, I'm telling you. So, Jonathan, if anybody wants to call you, let's say, even just to get an idea, like maybe it's not something they want to do today, but they're thinking, hey, maybe by the summer or the fall. Is that too soon to start calling you?
No, it's not too soon. You should be calling us today. Even if you're looking to even if you're looking to buy a year from now. I had a couple call us 2 days ago, and they're looking to buy in the next 6 months, but their credit score is a little bit low. And we were so happy that they reached out to us because we already met with them and we hooked them up with one of our lender partners who's helping them with their FICO score raise their score.
So you even have connections to things like that. I think people don't realize that when you talk about your team, I mean, that's really incredible. So you have a partner who's now helping them bring up their credit score. That's
Absolutely.
incredible.
Melissa, that's exactly what we do. And that's what people don't understand. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. So obviously, if you need to raise your FICO score, you need help with your credit, we're going to help you with that. And it doesn't cost you anything extra.
That's amazing. So that's what I mean. And I don't know if people realize that, when you open up the treasure chest, which I call Carbutti Real Estate, you're not going to find just one piece of treasure in there. I mean, it's full of gold. It's pretty incredible.
Melissa, we've literally helped hundreds and hundreds of first-time home buyers. We've been through this process many, many times. And obviously, you as a first-time home buyer, them as a first-time home buyer, haven't been through the process. That's even more of a reason to give us a call today. Or you could just go to our website at CarbuttiRealEstate.com. We have a great buyer sheet. Fill out the buyer form, and you'll get a call back in the next 10 to 15 minutes.
There you go.
Or less.
And again, it's Carbutti, Carbutti. Or if anybody wanted to call you or text you, Jonathan, is that okay?
Absolutely. I love when people give me a call. My cell phone's 203-980-6886. Or you could just shoot me a quick text message. I always pick up my phone. I love talking to first-time home buyers. I love talking about real estate.
Yes. No, he does. He's really good at it, too. And honestly, I think that's even neat, the fact that you'll answer the phone. The guy's name on the business, who answers the phone. I mean, that doesn't usually happen. So,
Melissa,
cool.
That's precisely why I answer the phone. My name's on the company.
I love that. Jonathan, always a pleasure to have you in studio. Thank you so much.
I love being here. Thank you so much, Melissa.
All right. Jonathan.Carbutti of Carbutti Real Estate here on WICC. Again, it's CARBUTTI.